Out of the shadows and into the debate. Two top former intelligence chiefs said today that Britain is safer staying in the EU. Jonathan Evans ran MI5, John Sawes ran MI6. So what are their arguments? They say sharing data sets on terror suspects between EU members is vital. If Britain left, it would receive less data. The former MI6 spy chief says Britain could no longer shape the debate on balancing privacy with security.
We've built these structures over the last 30 or 40 years, and we, Britain, have played a very important role, especially in making sure the security dimension is properly considered and properly integrated into the EU decisions that are taken. Now, if we walk away from it, we will lose a lot of those gains.
But others say cross-border cooperation would continue even if Britain left. EU governments would still feel morally obliged to pass on intelligence that could save lives. And they need British intelligence in turn. Europe's borders and EU laws are being quoted by both sides of the argument. The two former spy chiefs say worries over border controls are exaggerated, as the UK is not part of the Schengen free movement zone, and that the European arrest warrant has led to over 5,000 people being extradited to European countries. But another former MI6 chief, Sir Richard Dearlove, says Brexit would give Britain greater control over migrants coming from the continent. And today a previous Home Secretary welcomed the chance to be rid of the European Court of Justice, which hands down rulings on EU law.
The European Court of Justice interferes in all sorts of ways in which we deal with intelligence. It's even considering at the moment a case involving the surveillance agreements that we recently put in place in this country, which the Home Secretary said are absolutely critical to protect our people and to make this country safe.
And then there's stability. The former MI6 and MI5 chiefs say Europe's long period of post-war stability would be in jeopardy if a British exit led to the EU disintegrating. Vote Leave say Britain's security is hitched to NATO, not the EU. The people who work in this building, MI6, and their colleagues down the river in MI5 have been careful not to get drawn into the public debate over the EU referendum. But Sir John Sawes and Lord Evans both left secret intelligence in the last 3 years, so they're free to speak their minds. And the intervention that they've made today makes them probably the most authoritative voices so far from the world of intelligence to express their opinions on whether Britain is safer in or out of the EU.
When you have prominent people from the intelligence apparatus talking about Brexit, it is important, it is significant, but there are equally a lot of people who served in intelligence and police that have said that it will have no ramifications whatsoever.
Both men insist their views are independent of Downing Street, but what they've said today will undoubtedly be welcomed by David Cameron and the Remain camp. Frank Gardner, BBC News.